Good evening from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's 6:33 p.m. on the 11th of February 2024, and yes, I'm in my nightie again, but I've had a lovely day out at Victoria Point with my friend Jared, who I visited at his home for the first time quite a long time. So we had a lovely antipasto lunch of nibblies and cheese and pate and crackers and carrots and really healthy lunch. And yes, and then I said to Jared, let's go and have a look at go for a drive somewhere and have a look at the beach. So he took me to Victoria Point, which is not too far from where he lives. He actually lives in Mount Cotton, which is also a lovely spot. Actually, it was really lovely when I got out of my car when I arrived at his home. I stepped out of my car and my whole senses were suffused in the most beautiful fragrance and aroma from all the eucalyptus trees and tea trees and all these other beautiful trees in his immediate vicinity. It just smelled so beautiful, and I was like, oh. And then he actually said to me when we returned from the beach that he hadn't noticed how aromatic his little area is. I said, oh, it just smells divine. It's just absolutely exquisite. I suppose when you're there and you're immersed in it day in, day out, you take it for granted, or you just get used to the scent, But to me, it was all fresh and new and beautiful. So he spoilt me lavishly. He gave me this. It's I'll show you. I have put a photo of it up, but it had a lot of reflection on the glass, so it didn't turn out so well. I think you should be able to see it. There's still a fair bit of reflection. But anyway, he made it. He makes selfies using AI he does pets, but he does people as well. And that's my Beauregard dressed up as a Viking. Let me just take it from another angle. Perhaps put the light on. Will that help? Oh, the light is on. Anyway, I'm very happy with it. My little Beauregard. There he is. Guarding the front door like he used to do when he was alive. My sweet boy. So, thank you again, Jared, for that beautiful piece of art. And he even commented that he loves how we swap our artworks with each other, because I gift him pieces of jewellery that I've made specifically for him, and that I'm learning to make, and he gifts me his beautiful prints of his beautiful paintings or his AI workmanship. I've just noticed I look very swollen here in the face. Had a bit of pain in my teeth today. I hope that's nothing major to worry about. But anyway, soldiering on, people, soldiering on. So we had a lovely day. I posted lots of photos up on Facebook of Point Halloran, and just cancel that, got a call coming through. Point Halloran and Thompson's Beach, and we just walked all around, had a good look at everything. And yeah, it was just delightful and beautiful. And it was so lovely for me to be near the sea. I come alive when I'm near the ocean because I was raised by the sea as a child, and that's my element. That feels like home to me. Even though my family of origin were monstrous, I had a beautiful I grew up in the most beautiful place right on the beach, right? Thank God for that, or I wouldn't have survived my childhood. So I visited Tangaroa or Neptune or Poseidon today, and it was a beautiful experience. And Jared even found me a little hag stone, because I said I need a stone with a hole in it to hang above my bed for protection. So he found me one, which was wonderful. And what else did we do? We picked up some very intricate conical looking shells that I don't think I'll be able to make in Delft clay in sterling silver because of the holes in them, but I might give it a try. Not sure, because I know I had trouble when I tried to make a pendant out of a she oak because of all the little spiny little pieces poking out. But anywho, because it would lose its shape when I pulled it out of the mould. So anyway, I'm just trying to think if I can make something with those shells. I guess I could send them away to be cast with lost wax casting. Again, I'd have to probably make some kind of a mould for it and probably be expensive. But anyway, I brought them home to have a little play. So I'm excited about that. What else did we do? Oh, and then Jared sent me home with some lovely rum that he says he can no longer drink because he's now a diabetic and can't have this. Yeah, it was half a bottle of lovely rum. I said, oh, Papa Legba will be happy with that because I make him little offerings on his little altar. And he just kind of looked at me because really the Tanya will be happy with that. And then he had another bottle of limoncello that my daughter made him, a long time ago now, from my limes and vodka. So there might be a few little tipples happening. It's rare that I have alcohol in the house because I don't really like spending too much money on good alcohol, and I have my little drinky poos on my Friday nights when I go dancing, and I usually limit it to that, 4 glasses a week, Well, I had 6 glasses. No, I didn't. I had 5 glasses this week of Jack Daniels because I had 3 on Friday and 2 on Saturday when I went out to visit, to meet up with my friend Tarina for her 59th birthday. So I've had 5 alcoholic drinks this week. That's usually my maximum anyway, so that's all right. But yes, there could be some tippling happening if I tipple in my little liquor cabinet. But I think I will keep some of it literally for my offerings to Papa Legba because I don't like to drink much during the week. I don't like drinking at home. I like to save it for my wild nights of dancing when I can be immersed in the music and the adrenaline and the excitement of having a crowd around me, and you feel more celebratory. I don't like sitting at home drinking alone. It's boring, But anywho, but I was very grateful and happy. So again, thank you, Jared, for the spiced rum. It's cherry flavoured spiced rum, people. Oh my goddess. And for the limoncello, and for all the other little goodies. Oh, he also gave me this beautiful, I'll show you. I've been very spoilt today. Very spoilt. Where is it? Can you see it? Yeah, the little, it's a little snow globe that says boo, and it plays a little melody, and it's just delightful. It's just delightful. So thank you, my darling friend, my brother, my friend and my brother. I love you dearly, you know that. Oh, I got another surprise as well. This one's from the birds. Don't know what kind of bird left that. I think it might have been an ibis. It's lost its shape from being wedged in my iPhone case. But there's that. And then there was a very pale yellow cockatoo feather. So gifts from the fairies and and the birdies as well. So I had a day of beautiful gifts and blessings, and I'm very happy and grateful and excited. So, but I'm particularly thrilled, most of all, about that beautiful print of my Beauregard. I miss him terribly, and now I know he can watch the front door and look after Mama T as he used to do when he was alive. So, so I've had a lovely day, but yeah, it was so hot and sticky. I just wanted to get out of my clothes, and that's why I'm making this video. My hair's all still swept by the wind at the beach, and I'm in my daggy old nightie, and hopefully, I don't really care, but I'm a bit worried about my fetishists on YouTube, just saying, but I'm deliberately, boganing down on my nightie because I don't want to titillate all you gentlemen because it's not appropriate, and it creeps me out, you know how it is. You know how it is with the Tanya. It's a fine line between pleasure and pain. If you do it once, you won't ever do it again because I'll be done and dusted. Anyway, I just made that up, people. I'm actually a very sweet, loving woman, but shh! Don't tell anyone, they'll all want some. Anyway, it's a joke, people. I'm joking. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes, so I'm going to continue with readings of even date as I do. Haven't done a preview, so I don't know what we're going to read, so I hope it's nothing weird, people. Oh, that's the other thing I want to tell you. So, my elder daughter, who's not talking to me at the moment, and I'm not talking to her, and this has gone on for 5 months. And I have literally not visited Jared at his home in about 3 years, maybe 2-3 years. It's been a long time. And it's like my daughter, who is, quite psychically gifted like her mother, while we were down at Point O'Halloran, I think it was, he gets a text, and I just turned to him and went, "That will be Crystal." And he's like, "What? I haven't heard from her for weeks." I went, "It will be Crystal, because she will have picked up that we're having an outing together." Anyway, he looks at his phone, and sure enough, it was my daughter Crystal, who Jared and her are very close because he practically raised my kids as well as I did. Let's be real here. After that divorce, it was horrific. So he did help. He was a wonderful friend to it, and his family. He is my family. So, but I thought, isn't it interesting, this psychic bond, right? So he picks up his phone, he looks at it, flips it. He said, "Yes, she's just texted me that she's camping." And I went, "Oh, that's nice. Did you tell her that Mummy hasn't brought a letter from the palliative team doctor yet because she's not dying just yet, but, fuck you," kind of thing? He went, "No, I'm not getting involved in that war." And I just smiled, my sweet little homicidal old lady smile. But anyway, so then a little bit later on, she texts again. I went, she knows we're together. She couldn't possibly know because, we didn't plan it very long ahead to meet up today. But anyway, so the funny part, what does she want now? Oh, he says she's chasing a scrub turkey wherever she is camping. I went, "Oh, that'd be right." So anyway, it was kind of cute. And Jared goes, "How does she do it?" And I said, "Do what?" He said, "How does she know that you and I, when we get together, have an outing? How does she know to just randomly text like that and make contact?" I went, "I don't know, but it's a bit like, my mother, isn't it? It's like she used to always have a way of knowing when I was having a lovely time with my friends, of kind of inveigling her way into it and trying to sabotage. Not that Crystal was sabotaging, don't get me wrong, but my mother used to sabotage all my love affairs, my marriage, my love affairs. This was love affairs after I divorced, of course. My friendships, freaking jobs that I had. She'd turn up at the job and start trying to throw away it around there. She actually got me more or less, not fired, but told that I can't bring my mother to work. And I was like, I don't have control over my mother. She's an adult woman. I didn't ask her to come to work. Don't take it out on me. It's not my fault my mother's got no boundaries. Tell her no yourself. You're the boss. Fuck. Oh, then she inveigled, my mother inveigled herself even with my German Rabbi Uri Tamal, OAM. And this is probably when she was in the process of dementing, right? But nobody would accept that she had dementia. Got away with all that shit she did to me. But anyway, she would ring him. He was at the time my rabbi, and I say my because I was a long-time member of his congregation. So he was my rabbi. And my mother was ringing him, and at that time he was the top honcho of Multicultural Affairs Queensland, like the director like the top, I think executive director even, you know, the kingpin of the bit, we used to jokingly call him the Big Mac. And then my fucking mother was ringing him all the time going, my Tani won't let me see the children, because she's like, hangs out with pedophiles and she's an enabler. That's why. Oh, my Tani won't let me do this. And she was like complaining about me to my rabbi, and eventually he aligned with her and said, why am I such a terrible daughter and won't let her see her children? I said, well, you know, if you had a creep that was painting the house with lavender rooms, inviting Jasmine to go and sleep overnight, would you be sending your daughter to stay in the house with your mother under those circumstances? He just stared at me. It's like, for the love of God, instead of asking me what was really going on and what was actually the root of the problem, why I was not wanting my mother and to have sleepovers with my daughters, he took it out on me and basically thought I was a terrible daughter, right? Which I was never a terrible daughter. I was merely surviving that evil hag and protecting my children at the same time as best as I could, right? By the gods. So anyway, but that's what I mean about not having boundaries, even inculcating my rabbi into her nightmare, twisting and worm-tonguing and the savagery and making me out to be the asshole when all I was doing was struggling on my own as a single mother in dire poverty, by the way, you know, with no support, no loving family to be protective and nurturing and kind and decent and honouring, nothing. And then she twisted my own rabbi against me. Oh, I think that was the final straw for me. After that, I was like, she'd been skating on thin ice for a while, but that was one of the factors where I said, that's it, I can't have this woman in my life. But including going to my job when I was on a temp job, making trouble for me in my job. I want to have lunch with my daughter. It was just, she was so fucking invasive. And here we are, the skip generation. Unconsciously, my elder daughter Crystal is like texting away to Jared, and we're out having a nice time together for the first time in months. You know, I haven't seen him since Boxing Day. So there you go. You have to laugh at how invasive, you know, the psychic bond and the daemon that runs through our family is. It's almost like it can smell when I'm getting a life and having a nice time, right? But anyway, I'm not angry about it. I'm just bemused because Jared's observed that pattern before, that she will randomly make contact when we're together, and it's not like we're sneaking around behind her back or anything. We haven't had contact with her. I haven't had contact with her in 5 months, and he said it's been weeks. So anyway, I'm just sharing that because I'm taking particular interest in the shenanigans and keeping an eye on the situation. I'm reviewing the situation as I do every day, analysing what's left of my life. So here we are. It's also kind of interesting that Crystal chose today to make contact because it was my mother's birthday on the 8th. So there's also that kind of energy of my mother's spirit invasively niggling at either me or my daughter as well. So Na'akizla, we won't be having any of that. Today's readings are entitled Lightness of Being, and then for some bizarre reason, because the 11th of February has got nothing to do with my wedding anniversary or anything to do with my ignoble, emotionally abusive, awful mariage, but here we have a photo of the Tanya before she became the Tanya and was just a sweet 19-year-old and 1 month old, 19 and 1 month old bride. And by the way, I wanted to have my hair down long with that circlet that I made myself, right? With long hair, you know, like a Viking young woman or a Roman young woman or anything. And my hairdresser sister-in-law insisted on giving me what looks like a fucking beehive and buffing it all up. And yes, it's a lovely hairdo, but it made me look 45 instead of 19 and 1 month, a young bride, all sweet and innocent with no fucking idea what low-level entity I was about to shackle myself to for 10.5 years, and also breed with, although the breeding was my idea, I admit to that. I wanted my own babies, and I wanted a safe, loving family, and I wanted my own family, and it's a very classic trauma survivor, especially amongst women and young girls, thing to do. Marry the first schmuck that comes your way and sell yourself out to Bluebird more often than not, my darlings. Seriously, it's a very classic psychological thing to do. Women of the world and men of the world, if you want to know what I'm raving on about, read Woman Who Runs with the Wolves by Clarissa Estes Pinkola, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about here. Young girls wanting a home and family and safety. What did I get? Nothing but more and more and more emotional abuse. 6 months into the marriage, he hit me too, but he would never dare hit me again because I said, you ever lay a hand on me again, you're going to be a dead man. And I'm just abbreviating what I actually said because I don't want that up on YouTube. But he got my intent. Don't hit your beautiful young bride that married you with nothing but good faith and trust and actual love, you know? Like, who does that? Well, that was my reward for being a sweetheart and trusting, which is why you will never see me be a sweetheart and trusting ever, ever again. I've done my apprenticeship of pain. But look how proud and dignified I was. My mother-in-law made those beautiful mutton bone sleeves. The dress was a second-hand dress. My mother refused to spend money on I wanted, of course, a much more opulent dress, to be honest. And I didn't have any money. So she took me to a second-hand shop and bought me this second-hand 1950s dress, which had 3/4 length straight sleeves and looked so dated and old-fashioned. And in 1984, when I got married, it was fashionable to have these mutton bone sleeves. So my mother-in-law, we paid a professional seamstress as well to remodel it with those lovely sleeves, which we mixed with organza and the original thick satin. And then my mother-in-law sewed on lovely sequin lacing onto it as well to embellish. It was a beautiful dress by the time we'd done with it, but I was still a bit heartbroken because the dress I wanted actually cost $2,000, and to be honest, you know, knowing what I know now, it was too much to pay for a dress, but I was young and naive and wanted the creme de la creme because, well, you know, I was a little bit entitled, I suppose. But anyway, I had a $50 wedding dress, which I did burn some years ago. I just took it out and set fire to the fucking thing. Thought, why am I storing all these memories from a life that's long ago defunct, and attachments to a man that never treated me with actual respect, you know? Awful it was. So here I write Tanya La, which is a diminutive affectionate term. In Hebrew they put the La on the end, meaning little one, little Tanya indeed. 20th of May 1984, 19 years old, 1 month, 8 days, rolls eyes. But yeah, I don't know why that's in February. It should be attached to 20th of May, right? I must have had a bee in my bonnet about something. I wanted to remind myself that once upon a time I was young and pretty and a bride and sweet and innocent and trusting, and now I'm not. Well, I can be sweet, but I'm not innocent and trusting anymore, people. There's a reason for that. Too many men put their hands on my throat and tried to kill me. So, fuck that shit. I'm going to shut the living room door because all the cool air's going out. I wondered why it's not getting any cooler in here. So yes, I've replaced my tapestry here with Pinky that I did when I was 10 years old with Beauregard, and it feels kind of weird not having Pinky up there because I've had that tapestry almost all my life. So I have to think what I'm going to do with Pinky. I actually gave away the Dutch tapestry of the windmill with all the Dutch scene to the little boy a block away from me for his Dutch relatives. But I don't think I'll chuck out Pinky or get rid of her. I don't know. I might decide to one day. Don't really have room for many more paintings or tapestries in this house, so I'll have to decide. Sometimes it's just time to let it go. Anyway, 11th of February 2023, I posted a YouTube video, but it doesn't say what that was, but it's a link to YouTube. So excuse me, it's probably one of my jewellery making efforts. That's what that will be. 2:48 a.m, sitting outside the casino. I danced all night. I just gobbled down some hot chips. I can't feel my feet, my legs, or my hips. I had a nice time. I danced quite a bit with a strange man. I observed how shy he was for the first few hours. When he finally danced with me, I said, "Oh, you are from Afghanistan." He said, "Yes, how did you know that?" I said, "From your face." I was surprised at myself too. He seemed nice enough, but I am still very wary. My former lover did not show up, which I was glad about, as I have been picking up intense vibes from him, which stresses me out. So not sure what exactly I am picking up from him, since it seems nonsensical. And it was intense how psychically connected to that man I was. I refer to him now as Wiglet, but we all know his name is Dave. But anyway, I'm glad that seems to have eased off, except for last December the 13th, which was weird, but anyway. I no longer have this intense telepathy or intuiting his presence or his approach, or thank God I'm over that. It was very draining on my energy. He was actually, in a sense, a psychic vampire, either consciously or unconsciously. So, yeah, to you, Dave. He would laugh if he'd see this. He thinks he's the shit and the king. He's got no idea what kind of queen he's dealing with, right? But it doesn't matter now. I have beautiful men who love me and treat me with honour and kindness and integrity, and they're all platonic, and I'm safe with them, and that's worth all those delightful men who are sweet and kind to me and respectful of me are worth a million fucking Daves. So there is that. I suppose No, I don't want a software update. Go away. I suppose if I'm meant to find out who it is that is vamping my energy, the gods will reveal true intentions eventually. Time to drive home to a hot bath and a cuddle with my dog. His energy never lies. And no, it does not. To you, the image of my beautiful bow. 3:12 a.m. I just witnessed, oh, I remember that night. Oh, that was full on. Okay, here we go. This is going to be full on, people. I just witnessed some maniac driving the wrong way up Elizabeth Street. A young Māori woman jumped out of the car. I asked her if she was all right. She said, "No, he's been torturing me all evening." So another kind man and I, another bystander, walked her to the Adelaide Street police station. I hope like fuck they help her. It hurt to have to leave her alone, but I don't know her, and the best I could do was escort her to the station. I told her not to go back to the guy. I said, once they start with physical violence, it never gets better, but only worse. She said they've been together for 13 years and have a child together. I said to her, move out immediately and get a restraining order on him. She cried bitterly, more from the shock, and said she won't go back to their place ever. We all know how women go back and go back and go back until they end up murdered, by the way. The kind man who helped me escort her to the police station told her to stop crying. I said, no, honey, you cry. You cry as much as you need to. You cry that man out of your system forever. Hear me? She squeezed my hand and lay her head in gratitude on my shoulder. I told her, you have been very brave and have survived this time. I am incredibly proud of you. I also told her, this night is the night you finally get your freedom. I will pray for her that it is so. Time to drive home now. The world is a crazy, ugly place, but I said to the nice man that walked her with me that we have done our good deed for the night. Let's hope like hell that never needs to be returned to us in our own crises. He agreed. So there are still good people in the world. So it seems the weird, unsettled danger signals I felt all day yesterday were a precognition about this, I suppose. February 11th, 2022. I woke up from a strange dream. It was full of light, golden sunshine, which is a good omen. I was painting Charlie's feathers with red paint that I had dabbed into an artist palette tray. Charlie sat very obligingly and let me paint her red. The Red Queen in Alice in Wonderland who painted the white roses red. Then we went out together and people admired my paint job and red bird. We parked the car on a spot near a shop and went in. In it was a much younger Michelle B. Why do I keep dreaming of that woman? Why indeed? Well, I haven't dreamt of her for quite some time, but it's okay. She's not an enemy per se. She's just someone that drifted apart over time because of the toxicity, but she's not, well, she was vicious at times. But anyway, I won't go there. Let it go, Tanya. Think happy thoughts. Think happy thoughts. Anyway, in the dream, the shop was sparsely decorated and seemed to sell old furniture and a few ornaments or knickknacks. Oh, why has my computer blipped off? Why? Why? Hang on. Oh, my goodness. We're back. Drives me bats when that happens. Now I've got to find where we were up to. It's all moved. So maybe that's why I posted the photograph of me as a bride. And you'll hear why in a minute. She seemed happy to see me, and I felt a warmth of old, time-worn, unravelled friendship blossom in my chest. In real life, she had never been a true friend, but never mind, I won't go there with that ugly story. Anyhow, another woman was working with her, and she said there was a white chest of drawers that had beautiful carved cutouts on the drawers that held a beautiful wedding dress that mysteriously, she said, had once belonged to me. I replied dryly, I don't think so. I burned that dress a few years ago, symbolic of setting myself free from my child bride past. Well, I wasn't exactly a child, but at 19 I was still technically only a teenager. Like, for the love of God. Anyway, I was in love at the time, thought I was marrying a happy-go-lucky, friendly, loving man who I was going to have a beautiful life with, as you do till you get home and find out you've signed yourself away to a monster. And don't get me wrong, he wasn't always monstrous, but when it went bad, it went very, very bad. And he used his brother-in-law and sister to attack me also, which was venal. Anyway, I could say it's ancient history, but it's a wound that I will neither forgive nor forget. Let's put it that way. That's why I've never married again, people. I never wanted to be at the mercy of another monster. But the woman insisted I look in the drawers. I opened the drawers, and sure enough, layered in cream-coloured tissue paper, was my dress. But instead of the outer dress, it was a medieval bodice and a beautiful full skirt made in the same ivory-coloured satin that my dress had been made of. There were petticoats and a beautiful veil. Logically, it was not my dress, but yet I recognised it and accepted it as being so. And I've got to plug this in again, people. My battery just seems to die so fast, it's driving me a bit bats. Excuse the pun. Battery, bats, get it? Never mind. Let me just sit this nicely. Oh, here we go. Right. She insisted I put it on, and it fit me perfectly. That too was weird, as I am a much larger size now. I think my original wedding dress was a size 14, and I'm a size 16, 18, 20, depending on the cut of whatever it is I'm wearing. So round about an 18, really. I hesitated to put on the veil, symbolic of virginity and new beginnings and chastity, and the unwrapping of a gift to some man, or woman if you are marrying another woman. Michelle and the employee, admired me in the dress, and encouraged me to put on the veil. I laughed. But when I did so, I looked like a young and excited bride, and a wave of emotion poured through my older crone body, a wave of titillation, triumph, and something that felt like a reckoning, reclaiming my lost status as a woman that was worthy of being cherished, loved, desired, and marriageable. My wild berserker heart started beating in panic as I choose to never cede my freedom for any societal status symbology again. But at the same time, my blood sang with happiness that I was reclaimed and consecrated in this dress. While the two women were oohing and ahhing, fawning and fating me, even the red-painted Charlie twittering happily, a couple walked into the darker interior of the store, out of the bright sunlight, which kind of backlit them like an angelic aura. "Wow," they said, "you look beautiful." I approached them and told them that I had thought I had lost this dress forever, but my friend had found it for me in the drawers of the white chest of drawers, and now I felt I had to buy the chest of drawers. "Why not buy the dress?" they asked. I told them, breaking down into tears, that it was an ancient history and a stain, and I would never allow myself that experience again, as it would never be safe for me to do so. Sad but true. And this, by the way, was a dream, but it was holding very true to how I actually feel about things, especially marriage. So, the woman, who looked a bit like a long-lost school friend from high school, said, "Oh, honey," and reached her arm out and embraced me, and her male partner, standing close behind her, also reached out and patted me on my shoulder, and indeed his gentle, hesitant touch felt even more empathic and cleansing and beautiful and healing, and we stood silently while I sobbed for a few more moments. Then Michelle said, "Oh my God, we have to go." So suddenly we were in her car and travelling to another house. I started fretting about the car parking limit where my car was parked, as I do, which looked like it was on Cavendish Road near the intersection of Old Cleveland Road, near where Miss India used to be. Michelle was showing me the house when suddenly she received a phone call and burst into tears. "They are stealing my inheritance," she said. I told her I understood how that feels, as that had been manipulated and orchestrated long before my mother died, partially enabled by one of her henchmen who I had discussed in real life yesterday, the man we had both known biblically, the man who had haunted my front door in early June 2016. Yuck. It's funny, he got mentioned today too when I was at Jared's. It's funny how he finds a way to haunt me in some weird little quirky ways. Him of the self-proclaimed magnificent penis, so good they named him twice, David Davidson, the evil dog. But anyway, on we go with my dream. I then started to panic about getting back to my car before I got slammed with a large parking fine, which I would do in real life. But she was intransigent and telling me that her enemies were stripping her family home of its valuables. The dream ended. I woke up feeling emotional, but in some aspects there was a great healing in my dream, especially the nurturing embrace from the strangers who had witnessed my stoic determination, even dressed as a bride, to remain free. Freedom has a price I have gladly paid over and over again, in spite of long decades of trauma and grief. A too high price, a withering, winnowing, grinding down price, but valuable only to me who cannot forego my selfhood, my life force, and my weird, berserker, battle-worn stature. So this is why it kind of hurt me a little bit. We are friends and I do love him dearly. I don't really know him all that very well, apart from having danced for his band for 13 years, but I am very fond of him. But it did hurt me quite greatly when my friend Scott, not knowing my history here, said to me one night, "You would hate being married anyway, Tanya." Meaning I would hate my loss of freedom, right? Which I would. And it kind of hurt me a bit, because it's not that I don't want to have a partner again, or maybe would have one day liked to maybe have married again. It's that I simply can't, because it's not safe for me to do so. So that's where that source of kind of wounding stems from. It's not that I don't want a partner. I really do want one, quite dearly. But it's that my marriage was so awful, and the thought of having another awful marriage, and even worse, another vicious divorce, it would literally kill me. I would be dead. So that's why I am the way I am, and why I, have romantic notions of falling in love and having a loving partner, and even living with someone for the long term, and hoping, wishing, dreaming for my true lover man, and my family, and someone who's family to me, and someone who gets along well with my true friends, my adopted brother Jared, and my friend Lynn, and even my daughters, if my daughters ever reconcile with me. Someone that fits in with my intimate friends and family, and someone that includes me with his friends and family, doesn't leave me left like a freak of nature, always kept at arm's length, kept away like I'm some sort of dirty rag that can only be used and abused as some kind of sexual conquest or dirty secret. Certainly don't want that.